Alright, how's it going, guys? As you know, my name's David Knapp. How many of you guys did competitive competitions, whether it was sports or anything to like, just after school, mental learning activities? Alright, cool. So most of you guys. Alright, so the effectiveness of competitive competition for the youth is important. Alright, kind of sets you up for the real world. So that's why I'm asking the superintendents of all districts to enforce it from middle school through high school for at least an hour and a half, 2 hours after school. Most of the time, kids get out at like 3 o'clock, right? And most parents don't get out of work till 5. So, what are those kids doing in between those spare times? Okay. Competitive competition creates teamwork. It utilizes the whole team or whatever to include the weakest player. To help develop skills. It teaches you respect, discipline, morals, ethics, and it helps teach you deal with adversity. Okay. I'm gonna give like a little example. So at middle school, I was in a program called Mesa Minute once a week. It was all sorts of different activities. I chose robotics, but we would travel like twice a year up to Albuquerque since we live in Mexico. But all the schools would join there. And it was a big competition, but it wasn't, physical. It was a mental competition between everyone. So I was in the robotics, we had to make this robot go around the track following this trail, right? So we had to design that, then we had to program it to follow it, okay? So the difference between an activity competition program like that is it's more of like a camaraderie. It's like, hey, you can do it, you got this, let me show you how, I can help you, let's continue to do it until you get it. As opposed to sports where it's like, hey, toughen up, blah, blah, blah. So there's 2 different types of competition that you can join, but both are just as equal and important to develop certain skills. All right? So is competition healthy? I believe so it is. One, when you compete, it helps motivate you. So you're motivated to compete, it brings up that drive. You do learn valuable skills while you're doing competitions. It helps raise your self-esteem. It does create stress, but it kind of teaches you how to deal and cope with that stress as you're going through the competition. Okay. There's disappointments you're going to lose. Okay, but it's going to help you think like, how can I do this better next time? How can I improve myself next time? And disappointments are going to come throughout your entire life. Okay, so this is like a stepping stone to help for people to cope with that. There is unhealthy competition, okay? And when there's unhealthy competition, it enables people to want to participate and be a part of it. I'll touch more on that later, but some more benefits. Like I said, you get teamwork, right? So you have to socialize, face to face with people. You have to work with people. You have to communicate. You have to talk, right? It also is emotional and social skills that are building while you do this too, okay? You get to be committed to something. You create a mindset of, let's get it done. Let's be focused, and it goes down to also the teachers that help develop this or mentors or whatever, okay? Doing this helps you also create better skills. So like your weakest skills are being improved as you're improving on your best skills. When you're working on your weakest skills, it also helps improve your best skills. So it goes hand in hand. So overall, you're growing. Even if you don't think you're growing your weakest skills, you're developing certain aspects, and those will continue to grow. Like I said, it's emotional, okay? It's gonna affect your well-being, okay? So when it's affecting your well-being, you're gonna learn how to cope with certain things, stuff like that. And with mental health goes with physical health. So just because you're not in a physical sport and you're doing more of a mental competition, it kind of goes hand in hand because stress deteriorates your body, okay? So the more you learn how to deal with your stress, the better off your physical well-being will be. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So, all of this is like learning experiences. So there's different types, okay? There's sports, which we all know. Then there's chess, yoga, dance, theater, anything like that. So most of those, you have to get out and socialize to talk to people. When you're doing, chess or something, you're gonna have more than likely just one-on-one, okay? So it's not as sociable, but you're still learning. You're still being mentored. You're still being taught discipline, respect, and stuff like that. But you're still competing with yourself, not necessarily in a group, but you're still getting that social recognition with someone else to help develop skills. Okay. Participation for this, it's kind of important because more of the underclass students or whatever, they don't attend these, okay? Or the parents who are like, I don't care what my kid does when he gets out of school, you know. So those are problems. So those kids have the most to benefit for these the competition activities, okay? They'll help produce them or, you know, create standards, a foundation to help them thrive through life as they get out of high school, because a couple of you guys who are in here who are older can tell you that it does get like way intense after a couple years in college. Like life hits and you're like, damn, like, this is some serious shit. So those kids are at risk. But if the school's mandated by the superintendent, like everything has to be free. Everything has to be provided for through the government, which I think is totally capable of. So with that being said, being in a competitive thing, you'll create friends that way if you don't have friends or something. And no offense, but like video games don't count. You can't go and sit in front of a video game with other people like because you're staring at a screen. You're not getting the communication and one-on-one skills. Okay, but this will help raise your academics. Okay, because if you're competitive with yourself and with other things like that, it's going to create an aura where you're going to want to compete with yourself to be the best at everything you do. Okay, a lot of people don't get this foundation instilled. Especially at home, so this is a great way for people to learn this, okay? And so our main focus is to just get people educated and build a foundation, so when they do get into the real world, it can raise standards of our society, okay? And with that being said, I just need the superintendents to apply this, and we'll see the United States grow in a positive direction. Thank you, guys.